Hello and welcome to EDU. I'm Eric DeRise. Today, I'm going to show you my instructional video on the 10 guiding principles of instructional technology and distance education. It's pretty interesting. Now, if you are an education major, or if you have an interest in distance education or instructional technology, I think you'll find this video pretty interesting. It's not too long. It has 10 guiding principles, and they're going to help you to better understand how to teach or learn online. Coming up next.
In Tampa, Florida, where we offer classes in instructional technology and distance education. With so many students attending this school, instructors should follow the 10 guiding principles of ITDE. The first principle is to apply Dale's cone of experience model to curriculum design. Edgar Dale theorized that learners retain more information by what they do as opposed to what is heard, read, or observed. Today, this learning by doing has become known as experiential learning, or action learning. People learn best when they use perceptual learning styles. Perceptual learning styles are sensory-based. The more sensory channels possible in interacting with a resource, the better the chance that many students can learn from it. The second principle is to properly plan for the application of technology before implementation. Educators themselves must be trained to be mobile device experts of not just the devices themselves, but in the media and popular trends of mobile devices, so that they can educate students on their level. Good instruction and proper implementation has to take place with these devices so that student engagement continues in spite of the short-lived novelty effects. The only way to ensure this is to properly plan out the implementation. The third principle is to analyze your learners. This is also the first step in the Assure model of instructional media, created by Dr. Sharon Smaldino. You must know the learners if you are to select the best strategies to meet the objectives that you have set. You will also wish to determine their various levels of experience with using distance learning. The audience can be analyzed in terms of their general characteristics, such as grade level, age, and specific entry competencies, like prior knowledge, skills, and attributes about the topic and learning styles. The fourth principle, which is also the second stage of the Assure model, is to state the objectives. But before stating specific objectives, you may want to explore how you want students to achieve their learning in a distance education setting. It is more important to state specific objectives after you have identified the scope of the technologies you will be able to use in distance education. Your lesson should include 2 to 3 specific objectives. Objectives typically contain 4 basic parts: audience, who your learners are, behavior to be demonstrated, conditions under which the behavior will be observed, and degree to which the learned skills are to be mastered. The fifth principle and third stage in the Assure model is to select your methods, media, and materials. Now you have set the beginning point, in other words, the audience's present knowledge, skills, and attitudes, and the ending point, or objectives of your instruction. Your job is to build an instructional bridge that will connect the 2 points. You may select available materials, modify existing materials, or design new materials to help accomplish this task. The materials you select will depend on students' ages, experience, expectations, and more importantly, their access to the resources at a distance. The sixth principle and fourth stage of the Assure model is to utilize media and materials. Now you must decide how the materials will be used by the students. Preview the materials and practice the lesson. Access to types of media will affect how you use them. If you have access to limited equipment or resources, you might rely on the resources at the different distance settings. The seventh principle and fifth stage of the Assure model is to require learner participation. Describe how the learners will actively use the media you have selected. Have students do specific activities in their distance settings. Students will find more value in the learning experience if they are able to actively be engaged in their learning. There should be activities included in the lesson, or that allow learners to respond and receive feedback before any type of evaluation is administered. Have students make presentations using PowerPoint instead of sitting passively at a distance. The eighth principle, which is also the final part of the Assure model, is to evaluate and revise. After instruction, you must evaluate the entire instructional process. Students can be assessed on the quality of their interactions and on how well they have presented their learning. It is important to consider how materials that rely on distance education help students to interpret information. As with all media and technology-based lessons, you may choose to revise your selection of materials after you have determined how well they have worked. If there are any discrepancies between what you intended and what actually happened during the lesson, make appropriate revisions before making the lesson again. The ninth principle is to avoid making media comparisons. According to Clark, media are mere vehicles that deliver instruction but do not influence student achievement any more than the truck that delivers our groceries cause changes in our nutrition. If there's no single media attribute that serves a unique cognitive effect for some learning task, then the attributes must be proxies for some other variables that are instrumental in learning gains. The 10th principle is to prioritize content and method of instruction over media. The main point of Clark's argument was that learning is influenced by the method or instructional strategy used to design the instruction, not by the media used to deliver it. This led him to conclude that it is the method that impacts learning effectiveness, not the media through which it is delivered. These 10 guiding principles of ITDE are for you to apply as a distance educator. Apply them in your classroom.
Well, that's it for my instructional video on the 10 guiding principles of instructional technology and distance education. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click on the like button, okay? And leave your comments in the comments section below. I want to know what you think of this thing. I also want to know what kinds of videos you'd like to see on this channel. Also, if you wouldn't mind, please click on the subscribe button, okay? That way, when I make new videos, you'll know about them right away. Well, until the next video, take care.